Hi everybody, good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever you are listening to. I'm Concetta D'Emma, founder of Unconventional Hotels, and the claim is just be yourself because my unconventional guests, they deserve right welcome. And today we are gonna interview Dr. Randi, founder of Wellness Community. And let me introduce her. Hi, Dr. Randi, where are you?
I am coming to you from the Jersey Shore in the United States. Thank you for having me.
Okay. And Dr. Randi, tell us about yourself. What do you do in your life before telling your experience around Italy?
I am actually a retired chiropractor, and I now do marketing for health providers, health institutions, and small businesses. We show people how to host a community event as a way to bring your community together, let them know about all different kinds of services, but also as a way to grow your small business by really becoming a leader in your community.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. And I know, Dr. Randy, you have a daughter, and she is celiac. So you are going to tell us about your experience with your family around Italy in July. And I know you chosen some hotels with gluten-free breakfast. Is it right?
Yeah, we chose some of the hotels we selected. We also had a great travel agent.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. And
One second,
I know
I'm
that
getting.
Randy, you have a daughter, and she is. What happened?
Sorry about that. I was hearing myself. One second, I shut it off. I was on coming up on another channel. So some of the hotels we selected, but we had a great travel agent that's from Italy that is based here in the States now, and she did a lot of research for us. As a matter of fact, some hotels that we initially chose, she came back to us and said, I don't really think they're willing to accommodate you as far as a gluten-free breakfast, so we're not going to choose those hotels. So but for the ones that we went to, we started our trip in a very small town in Calabria called Lamezia, and we stayed at a wonderful hotel there that was incredibly accommodating, not only for breakfast. They cooked us special food, but they had a wonderful restaurant because there's not a lot of choices in this small town, and it's called the Hotel Savant, and they really went out of their way to cook wonderful meals for my daughter and I, really ensuring us that they understood celiac and that they were cooking things separately. They told us certain things that they were not able to make for us because they couldn't make those, in a gluten-free fashion. So in our stay in this small area in the mountains, we found that it was actually very simple. The people in this area were very accommodating, and then we were up the mountain in Serra Stretta. I apologize for my pronunciations if they're incorrect.
Don't worry.
Even there, they did some special things for us. My daughter was actually bat mitzvahed in a 500-year-old synagogue in the mountains, and the bread that they use and the cookies they serve, the baker in town scraped clean all his equipment to make special, gluten-free food for her so that she wouldn't feel left out of the process. So that's kind of where we started our journey, as well as with a lot of gelati, because that's always safe and fun.
And then, how old is your daughter? Tell us.
My daughter is 13, and she was diagnosed with celiac she was about 8, so about 5 years ago now. And it was a very trying time for our family because she was sick for a long time before we figured out what was wrong. And then we basically went gluten-free as a household. That's how we found it easier to do. For some people, that's more difficult if you have a lot of people in your household, but for us, that worked best. She's doing wonderful. I call her the poster child for gluten-free. You basically couldn't pay her to eat anything gluten-free. You know, she's now very healthy, and I feel in the long run she's probably going to be healthier than some of her friends that eat, you know, a lot of things that's very processed and you know, overproduced with chemicals and things. So she's got a great instinct at this point. You can tell her that you're in a restaurant and they're making her something special, and she might look at it when it comes, and she'll just look at me and go, you know what, Ma? I don't think I should eat that. And, you know, I always trust her instinct, and you know, so that's a great thing, you know, about her is she's kind of got a little bit of a intuition when she's being served. And after we went on to Sicily in Taormina, and what I found in most of the hotels, and you and I just kind of briefly talked about this,
Yes.
is when they offer gluten-free, and now this is something that I learned, you know, sometimes you don't know what to even ask for until you have an experience. For myself, what I found was a lot of the gluten-free breakfast were just packaged gluten-free foods. Actually, you have things in Italy that we don't have in the States here. Different companies, I guess, produce for different countries. And, you know, it's something, but you know, a couple of the places we stayed in offered more of a selection, and that was really nice, not to feel like, you know, you had to eat out of a package to have breakfast. So they weren't misleading. They did have special products to accommodate. But I guess in my mind, I was thinking, if I'm in a 4 or 5-star hotel, which is where we stayed throughout our travel, and someone's telling my travel agent to, you know, that yes, we will absolutely accommodate a gluten-free breakfast, I think I was expecting, and maybe this was, you know, my fault, that it was going to be more than packaged. So that's something that I think is important for people if you're traveling to ask that more detailed question, and for those business owners to understand that people with special needs, in this case celiac, you know, want something more than, you know, something out of a package when you're promoting that you offer this, you know, gluten-free breakfast. So, you know, that's something that I found as far as you know, the breakfast end of things. And not that they didn't have other choices as a part of their buffet breakfast, whether it was, you know, cheese and meats and eggs and things like that. But for people with celiac, the biggest problem is not often the food that they say is gluten-free, but it's that fear of, was there cross-contamination unintentionally, whether it happened in the kitchen or it happened because it's out in this area for people to access. You know, people don't know considered gluten-free. Hotels or
Um, can you hear me?
restaurants. Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Okay, right now, yes.
Okay. You know, for those that are offering this, you know, sometimes even if you have just a small dish, a chafing dish on the side that says strictly gluten-free, you know, don't cross utensils or have it on a separate area. These are the little things that really mean a lot to someone with celiac. It is a little challenging to travel. You can't be you know, just impulsive like you might be when most people travel. Whenever you're hungry, you eat and things like that. You know, it needs to be more planned. So all the little things that a hotel does to accommodate you when you have these special travel needs really makes a huge difference. It makes me recommend something to someone that's going back. Matter of fact, when we were in Rome, we had to be sitting at an outdoor cafe. A couple sat down that were from the States. We were talking. She had celiac. They were on their way to somewhere we had come from, and we told them where to stay and where to eat. So it's those little things that, you know, as a hotel owner or, you know, a boutique hotel, whatever it might be, it means so much, especially if you're a parent traveling with a child with, you know, any kind of special needs. It's definitely a little scary because you don't want to be on vacation and your kid to get sick. I mean, that's the worst thing in the world, you know.
Yeah, Dr. Randi, tell us what could happen to your daughter if she is going to eat something contaminated or not so gluten-free. What could
Yeah.
happen?
You know, it's different for everyone. There are some people that will get very bad gastrointestinal reactions where they might be vomiting or they might have, you know, bouts of diarrhea and things like that that can be quite severe for a few days. For Felicia, she just gets a really bad stomach pain and she'll also get a headache. And it is somewhat debilitating. In other words, if she gets sick, she's down for a few days, you know, until her body can kind of recover from that. So that's why really when you're traveling and you're away from home to, you know, to have this, you know, feeling like, you know, people are doing their best, everything they can to accommodate you, is just a comfort level that you almost can't even put a price tag on. And I'm always willing to pay more for a special service. I understand that we have special needs, and for those that are willing to, you know, accommodate and provide and do it with a smile, not making you feel like, you know, you're inconveniencing them, you know, we're always willing to, you know, to pay extra for that. For those, I'll go on Tripadvisor and I'll make a really nice comment, you know, on a hotel of, you know, what they did that made us feel like they were really going out of their way. And, you
So
know,
you,
those are the kind of things that we really, you know, mean a lot to us.
so you used to leave a good review, a good feedback on TripAdvisor, um, those kind of websites when
Yeah.
you used to travel. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, we find some when then we're going out to, you know, to for the day and we know we're going to need somewhere to eat lunch or to eat dinner. Sometimes, I mean, we were very blessed. Our travel agent did do some research in every location we were in. They listed in our itinerary a few places that were good to eat. But then we also went on TripAdvisor a few times, and one of the things we do when we travel is we like to talk to local shop owners, and we like to see where they eat, not the tourists. Um,
Good
and very,
choice. Good
yeah,
choice.
and very often, you know, we'll even say, well, you know, we're gluten free. Do you think they accommodate that? And they'll say, oh yeah, I've seen that on their menu, or so a friend, family member, a friend eats there that, you know, that has celiac. So we use those sites a lot. Now, the one thing I can tell any business owner listening is in the States we would use the expression the kiss of death is when you're not nice to celiac people and people go and post it. You know, celiac people are very supportive of each other, and really, because they know how hard it is to be out of your home. So when someone does something good, they will share it, but when someone does something bad, they will share that too. And I think you probably know that one of the worst things is having bad reviews.
Yeah, the word of mouth, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what did you find in Italy in those hotels with gluten-free breakfast for your daughter? Everything you told was like packed, is it?
Yeah,
And tell
yeah,
us
and then
about details. It was something about gluten-free bread, or tell us which kind of product did you find there?
yeah, it seems like in Italy the main product, or I should say the main company, is a shore company. I think that's how you pronounce it, Shor, and they have a variety of crackers and kind of little cakes and breads and things like that. So you know that seemed to be standard at we stayed at I think 7 different hotels during our trip. That seemed to kind of be the standard items that they had. Um, and then they also seem to be at all of the, which this is interesting for us from the States, that in the pharmacies in Italy, they have huge sections of gluten-free food. So that was kind of interesting to us that that's where that you purchase that stuff. But yeah, and a couple of the hotels you could really see they would go out of their way and say, you know, what else can I get you? They would take you through the buffet and say, well, they would have a corner with all these, gluten-free packaged breads and cakes and things like that. And then they would say, this is gluten-free, this is, don't eat this. And if I voiced a concern about the cross-contamination, a few of them said, let me go in and have them make a special dish just for your daughter.
Yeah.
Some of them did, some of them didn't.
You were in all 5-star hotels, or also
4 and 5-star hotels.
Okay, perfect. Just understand the type of accommodation. And what would you like, or what your daughter would like to find on a buffet when she is going to travel with you with the family? Which kind of products?
I think she would love to see things like gluten-free pancakes and gluten-free waffles and, that kind of stuff. And maybe even not bread or muffins from a package, something that's made, fresh, which is usually what they're serving, everybody else. So I think those kind of things really make a difference. I think gluten-free people would probably be surprised to see that and get really excited about having breakfast that you don't have to eat out of a package. So,
you just want to have breakfast as if you were at home, I imagine, like everybody,
when someone has celiac, it's this whole thing of you almost want to feel normal. You want to feel that you can eat what the other people are eating. So, especially for a 13-year-old, when there's pancakes or waffles, or when we find a place that has great gluten-free pizza or a pasta, she kind of feels like everybody else. So there's that element too of not making people feel like there's something wrong with them.
Yeah. So have you tried also a gluten-free pizza or gluten-free pasta along your travel?
We did. We found a couple of really great places that had gluten-free pizza. And what we found was most of the restaurants, when we ventured out, almost all of them would offer gluten-free pasta. That seemed to kind of be more of a standard than even we find here in the States. I would say probably about 80% would offer that. And most of the restaurants, if you say you have some kind of food allergies, what I also found was they would have the chef come out and say, if they didn't have gluten-free pasta, well, here's what I can make you. Tell me what you want, or give you a bunch of choices from the menu. Here's the things I can make you. Tell me what you would like. So we actually found almost all of the. We were from like Rome South. We found almost everywhere super accommodating. Other than, and this was the big surprise to me, in Amalfi, nobody wanted to do anything special. So that's a thumbs down to Amalfi. But the rest of the coast there, Positano was very nice, and Capri and everything. But for some reason Amalfi, we spent the day there and she couldn't eat. Nobody wanted to kind of help us out. But everywhere else we went, we really felt that restaurant-wise was great. There was a little place in Taormina that we probably had the best cannoli we've ever had in our lives, and it was gluten-free. So, and we found that on Tripadvisor. Or actually, the hotel we were staying at, I went to the front desk and I said, can you tell me where we can get gluten-free pizza? And she went and she did some research, and she came up and she said, this place has gluten-free pizza, and it's listed as the best in the city. So, those kind of things. And that was a hotel that was great. They went and they did some of the research for us, which is nice.
Okay, so I'm very glad as Italian, they were very helpful and welcome with you. So, and tell me about the communication, offline and online. Offline, I mean the communication on the buffet. And then if you can tell me also about the communication on the website of these hotels, if you've seen something, or if you haven't seen nothing, there is some lack. Yeah.
On most of the buffets, they had a section where you very clearly saw that it was gluten-free food, because it's packaged food that after a couple of places you recognize the package. And then we would always ask you know, the maitre d' or whoever the head waiter was, you know, my daughter has celiac, what is okay to eat? And they would walk you around and kind of show you things. You know, and again, the issue is always that, yes, we know eggs would be gluten-free, or if they had bacon or other kinds of meats. It was really more, if it looked like it was very fresh, that it hadn't been touched much, she would have something. But if it looked like, you know, if we got down later and it looked like it'd been touched a lot, we're just very cautious that way. So that's something else, like I said, I think hotels, as they're growing their awareness of this need, and approximately there are statistics that say anywhere from 10 to 20% of our population globally has some kind of either celiac or gluten intolerance. This is becoming something that they need to really be aware of. I think maybe having, even on the buffet, a small section, you know, even if it's just eggs and just bacon and the big sign that says these are gluten-free, you know, please don't, you know, cross the utensils and things like that. Or having a sign on a table when you go down for breakfast that says, you know, if you're gluten-free, we're happy to cook food for you separately to avoid any cross-contamination. Those kind of little things, I think, would mean a big difference to anyone that's traveling. As far as the websites, I think that that's something that definitely needs to evolve. You know, when you're planning a trip and you're looking for hotels to stay at, if it's very clearly defined what you offer or how you accommodate people, you know, whatever that is, instead of just saying, you know, gluten-free options, that's so vague that you really, you know, now I know I would ask more questions when I travel. So, but just saying that, initially it's exciting to know, okay, well, at least I know my kid's going to be able to eat breakfast, but in retrospect, I think that needs to be a little more detailed, and I think they really need to describe what they can do and what they can offer, and, you know, how they can really make your stay a really great experience.
Yes. And so this is our mission, Dr. Randy, to give hotels those kind of strategies or tools, and in order to satisfy in a better way those unconventional guests. And this is the reason why the claim of the unconventional hotels is just be yourself, because I want to just help people being themselves when they need to travel. They don't feel like different, like an alien, you know. Everybody deserve a good welcome, the right welcome, and everybody deserve just some solution for themselves, and that's it. So you just told me also about the kind of solution, and the last question for you is, what are you going to answer to those hoteliers, owners or restaurants that normally are claiming about the cost of products? We are not going to implement to improve those kind of stuffs for our breakfast, because for us it's a cost. We're going to waste time. We're going to waste products. What are you going to answer to those people?
Well, I can, as being a business person, I can understand it, but I think it's a very kind of small mindset. They have to realize that, you know, whether it's celiac or other types of food issues, just as a society, our allergy levels are elevating. So they're cutting a lot of people out of their market by just, you know, kind of digging their feet in the sand and saying, I'm not going to do this. I think depending upon the size of their establishment, obviously, I think there's ways to do it that are not that expensive. I think that you can, you know, just purchase, even if it's a just small selection of kitchen items and utensils, you know, a few pans and things like that. So if someone does really have an allergy and needs something prepared separately, you can have something, you know, in that respect. And a lot of the items that they already have, it's not about purchasing new items, it's just about a different preparation. You know, I used eggs as an example. Well, instead of being in a giant chafing dish that everybody's putting their stuff in, to offer, hey, we'll go in and we'll cook you something separate. Now, that didn't cost them any more money. They already had the eggs, they already had the butter, they already have whatever else you're putting in it. It cost, 2-3 minutes of someone's time. So I think that even, and I know that they do this in a lot of restaurants, they'll take a very small section of a kitchen, and it doesn't have to be probably more than a couple of feet, and just say, you know what, this is where we're going to prepare food when people have allergies to make sure that we're doing our best not to cross-contaminate. So I think that, like anything else, as you look to the future of your business, this is an integral part of those people that are your patrons. And when you are going above and beyond to serve people, and I think I said this before, you're in a service industry, and if you don't want to serve, you're probably not in the right business. And whether it's about how someone wants their steak cooked, or someone who has a child with celiac, as a business-minded person, you need to do everything you can to accommodate anyone.
Yes.
And I think that pretty much sums it up.
Of course, I agree with you and with what you said, because it's in my mindset. Of course, during all these years, I've been working with hoteliers and restaurants, so this is my mission. So thank you very much, Dr. Randi. You've been very helpful. It was amazing to hear about your experience traveling around Italy, and I imagine you liked Italy, of course.
Yes, we love Italy.
We have a wonderful country. And sorry, I haven't asked you, where are you from? Where are you talking? Which,
I'm
which country?
I'm at the beach in New Jersey. We call it the Jersey Shore.
Ah, okay. I like the MTV,
Oh,
like that program. Okay.
yeah, not far from there, actually.
Okay, perfect. So thank you very much, Dr. Randy, and I look forward to talk to you later and to know also about your other child experience. So for now, thank you very much, and this is Concetta D'Emma, and the founder of Unconventional Hotels. If you want to be the next unconventional guest, just write me directly on my fan page, facebook.com/unconventional hotels, or you can find me on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/unconventional hotels. You can find me also on LinkedIn and on Google+. Just write me who want to be the next unconventional guest, and everybody can tell us about its own experience around the world. Which kind of problem do you normally find when you have to travel? And also, we are this kind of positive people, and so we want to know also which kind of solution are you going to share with us and with the tourism industry. So thank you very much, and see you next time. I look forward to hear and to know you better. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Thank you, Dr. Rand.
Okay.